We have some new sound from Senator Heidi Heitkamp on why she is now choosing to vote no on Kavanaugh. Let's listen.
It's a lifetime appointment. This isn't a political decision. If this were a political decision for me, I certainly would be deciding this the other way. There's an old saying, history will judge you, but most importantly, you'll judge yourself. And that's really what I'm saying. I can't get up in the morning and look at the life experience that I've had and say yes to Judge Kavanaugh.
Gloria Borger, I want to get your reaction because we know the latest polling shows that this move may not be good for her politically.
Right. You know, Heidi Heitkamp is behind, what, a dozen points in the polls. She's been sinking during the whole nomination process. And, red state Democrats, this has really hurt them. And you were speaking earlier last hour about how this has motivated the Republican base. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. And I think that's why the president actually changed his tone on Dr. Ford earlier this week when he started mocking her, if you will. I mean, look, this is political. The Democrats have to show that they have fought as hard as they could to please their base, and also because they don't want him confirmed. But we're heading into a midterm election here, and so this ain't beanball here. And Republicans are sticking with Kavanaugh. The president stuck with Kavanaugh, particularly, I think, when he realized that it was good for him. Now, it's going to hurt him in the House of Representatives. I mean, ironically, moderate Republicans are going to say, you know what? These suburban women in a lot of House races, particularly those 20-plus districts that Hillary Clinton won, this could hurt Republicans in the House, but it's going to help them keep those seats in the Senate in those 10 red states.
Asha Rangappa is with us. She's an former FBI special agent, also a lawyer. And Asha, when you listen to that press conference we just heard, that lengthy press conference with Republican leadership, we heard multiple times them say that they did not instruct the FBI on who to interview, how to go about this probe. Do you take him at his word, or what do you make of where this investigation landed, who was interviewed, who wasn't?
I think that would be correct, Anna. Remember that background checks are run out of the administrative division of the FBI. They're essentially subcontractors for whatever agency or entity is requesting it. In this case, it would be the White House. When the FBI gave its background check, it was closed. For the FBI to open it up again, they needed a request from the White House to open it up and give them the scope. So in many ways, they're subcontractors, and unlike a criminal investigation, they are more at the mercy, if you will, of the parameters of what the customer wants to know. So I think the question here is, what, if any, restrictions were placed on the FBI by the White House in terms of the request to reopen this investigation? Was there a restrictive witness list? Were they told explicitly not to interview some people? That is going to be key, because on its face, it does not make sense to me that there were many other people who were not interviewed if the issue here was to look at a potential issue with regard to character or fitness or suitability for a position of public trust.
So you are saying that it does not make sense to you that if they were given free rein, to use the president's word, that they wouldn't have interviewed additional people, including those that were pointed out by Ford's lawyers?
I think those that were pointed out by Ford's lawyer, I think people who have in fact corroborated some of the college allegations, for example, and who've come forth to give even sworn statements. I think the FBI would have circled back with them and tried to make sure that they were as comprehensive as possible. The FBI is not in the habit of leaving loose ends. That's not what they do. But unlike in a criminal investigation where they have independent authority under the statutes of the United States and the Attorney General guidelines to pursue those things, in a background check, I think that it's more restrictive, and it's really about what the decision-making person, the adjudicator, in this case the White House, wants to know. So remember, the FBI is also good at writing memos about what they're asked to do. So if this House turns over in November, the House Judiciary Committee could ask the FBI for any notes or memos that were taken with regard to this investigation, and they can find out exactly what restrictions or parameters the FBI was operating under.
Asha, will this FBI report ever see the light of day?
You mean the supplemental background check?
Yes.
I mean, again, it is in the possession of the White House. It's almost like a part of the personnel file of the person that they are looking at. So I think that in this case, I believe it was Chairman Grassley said it's the White House decision. I think he's correct. I think in terms of actually making those public, that would be the White House decision. The irony, Anna, in calling for transparency in the Russia investigation with classified sources and methods, and we're uncovering all of that, but yet saying that this, which is clearly in the public's interest and could affect the day-to-day life of a lot of people moving forward, is going to stay confidential. I think that would be kind of pretty ironic on the part of the White House if they didn't release.